It's a bard, man. Of course there's going to be a conversation about bards.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Intoxicated Intellect. If you're here for the first time, you've seen our stuff, or second time, you've seen our stuff before, be sure to give us a like. Please interact with us. We love to read your comments, too. Today, I've got Brady.
What's up?
I got Jake. And I got Ben.
Howdy, howdy.
Words cannot express how excited I am to get into
Justin is so happy.
Yeah,
the Bard subclasses.
Before we start, I have one announcement. This video is sponsored by the new homebrew PDF we just put out. Go check the 100 subscribers video, everyone. There's a link in the description of that video to a list of 3 homebrew subclasses we created. Go check it out.
Ben, because I would talk way too much about the Bard itself, please give us a rundown of what the Bard's all about, some of the class features and shit.
Can do. Once again, as we're going through this, I'm going to name mostly the ability. If there's something big that comes a part of it, I will briefly touch on that, but otherwise I'm moving as quickly through these as we can so we can get to the meat and potatoes of why we're here. With the Bard, D8 on your hit dice, simple weapons, hand crossbows, yada yada yada. Musical instrument is your spellcasting. Whatever musical instruments you so happen to choose. You are a charisma caster, and you have one of the largest spell books in the game. I believe it, as Justin said earlier, was like the 4th largest?
Fourth largest.
Yep.
4th largest. Wizard, Warlock, Druid, Bard.
You also have the access to ritual casting, unlike certain other spellcasters, which is really nice to help conserve spell slots. You get access to Bardic Inspiration, inspire your allies, give them boosts on different ability checks, saving throws, those kind of things. Certain subclasses change all of these, so be ready, because we're going to dive into that specific feature a lot. Jack of all trades, starting at 2nd level, half your proficiency bonus rounded down to any ability check. Really strong. Song of Rest, you can give some temporary hit points out, so you can give some healing out. Not temporary hit points. Magical Inspiration is an optional rule out of Tasha's. Basically allows you to restore, as you cast a spell that restores or restores health or deals damage, the creature can roll that die and choose the target affected by the spell, add the number rolled as a bonus to the hit points regained or the damage dealt. Different Bard colleges will hit on all those as we're going through. At 3rd level, you unlock Expertise. Guess you sounded kind of like a rogue, just with music. And you get ability score improvements at 4th, 8th, 12th, 16th, and 19th level right before you hit 20. You get optional Bardic Versatility, again in Tasha's. Basically, whenever you get an ASI, you can replace one of the skills you choose for your expertise and replace one cantrip, if you so choose. Gives you a little bit more.
It's great to switch out and get ready. Yep. They say music is the oldest form of magic.
This is true.
At 5th level, you get access to Font of Inspiration. At 6th level, you get access to Counter Charm. 10th level, you get access to Magical Secrets, where you can pull spells from any list in the game. And then at 20th level, you get access to Superior Inspiration, which allows you to regain the use of your Bardic Inspiration if you have none whenever you roll initiative. It basically keeps you in the fight a little bit longer. Okay, that was a lot, so why don't we go ahead and start with the meat and potatoes of what we're here for. We're gonna start with college. The College of Creation. Jake, take it away.
All right, so the College of Creation is basically, you ever wanted to play a tune and have something just pop out of nowhere, stuff change by will? Yeah, well, now you can.
Like fun.
When you first join this college, you gain the Note of Potential. At 3rd level, whenever you give a creature a Bardic Inspiration die, you can utter a note from the Song of Creation to create a tiny mote of potential, which orbits within 5 feet of that creature. The mote is intangible and invulnerable, and it lasts until the Bardic Inspiration die is lost. The mote looks like a musical note, a star, a flower, or another symbol of art or life that you choose. When the creature uses the Bardic Inspiration die, the mote provides an additional effect based on whether the die benefits an ability check, an attack roll, or a saving throw. When the creature rolls the Bardic Inspiration die to add it to an ability check, the creature can roll the Bardic Inspiration die again and choose which to roll, as the mote pops and emits colorful, harmless sparks for a moment. For your attack rolls... Funfetti. What, could it be like a flump?
I like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Any kind of. I would apply. Onomatopoeia is a bard's specialty tool. Kablam, pow. Why do you think Batman was so popular in the 50s?
Oh no, that's what I was thinking for the next one. That's exactly where my head went.
Go on, Jake. What's next?
Say you want to use this dice for an attack roll. Immediately after the creature rolls the Bardic Inspiration die to add it to an attack roll against the target, the mote thunderously shatters. Target and each creature of your choice that you can see within 5 feet of it must succeed on a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC or take thunder damage equal to the number rolled on the Bardic Inspiration die.
No,
Yeah,
Ben,
just
that's
straight up the
exactly
boom.
what that is. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's really
It's
loud and
big
just
letters
pops
like
out
right
on the
next to you.
screen.
Yeah.
Now, say you want to use this on a saving throw. Immediately after the creature rolls the Bardic Inspiration die and adds it to a saving throw, the mote vanishes within the sound of soft music, causing the creature to gain
Relaxing.
temporary HP equal to the number rolled on the Bardic Inspiration die, plus your Charisma modifier.
That's actually really nice.
That's pretty
That's
dope.
not a bad. That is.
Yeah.
I would
really
have
like-
people using it for saving throws all the time. The only thing is, you have to kind of anticipate that. So you just got to be throwing those Bardic Inspirations out before you really get into combat, even.
But boys, that's not all.
Wait, there's more.
There
always
is more. Also at 3rd level, as an action, you can channel the magic of the Song of Creation to create one non-magical item of your choice in an unoccupied space within 10 feet of you. The item must appear on a surface or in a liquid that can support it. The gold piece value of the item cannot be more than 20 times your bard level, and the item must be medium or smaller. The item glimmers softly, and a creature can faintly hear music when touching it. Created item disappears after a number of hours equal to your proficiency bonus. Basically, you can get a list of the stuff you can create in the player's handbook.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just basic equipment, non-magical
Also-
stuff like a broom or I don't know, a brick.
And as you level
Also
up,
is-
the size increases
bigger.
on what you're able to create.
Well, Justin, if you fart your way to 6th level,
I can do it.
you gain Animating Performance. You can make your fart stance. As an action, you can target a large or smaller non-magical item you can see within 30 feet of you and animate it. Animate Item uses the
There it
dancing
is.
item stat block, which uses your proficiency bonus. English is really hard, guys. The item is friendly to you and your companions and obeys your commands. It lives for 1 hour or until it's reduced to 0 hit points or you die.
I like how it says it lives for 1
Yeah,
hour.
that's sad. In combat, the item shares your initiative count, but it takes its turn immediately after yours. It can move and use its reaction on its own. The only action it takes on its turn is the dodge action, unless you take a bonus action on your turn to command it to take another action.
It's
That
some
actually-
typical familiar stuff, yeah.
Yeah, this works. It's
Very much
reading like it works the
Beastmaster.
same as the Steel Defender. That action cannot be one in its stat block or some other action, and if you are incapacitated, the item can take any action of its choice, not just dodge.
Bites after you go down, though. That's nice.
When you use your Bardic Inspiration feature, you can command the item as part of the same bonus action you use for Bardic Inspiration.
That's
That's
nice,
nice.
because that was going to
That
be
is very
that was my
nice.
question.
Once you animate an item with this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest, unless you expend a spell slot of 3rd level or higher to use this feature again. You can only have one item animated by this feature at a time, and if you use this action and already have the dance item from this feature, the first one immediately becomes inanimate.
I have
Nice.
some thoughts on
Dance-
this one.
Yeah.
The stat block is pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's a
I would
dancing
recommend
item,
looking
which
it up on your own.
Yeah.
It's
which
it's
is something I
tough.
can it's something I can assume that you'll summon with 3rd level spell, which is why that language
Possibly.
exists there.
Yeah.
Animate item, if we can get a cross reference on that.
Well, I'll go
I'll
over
check.
that when I give my opinion on this because
Okay.
I have a feeling a lot of the things that are coming to my mind are gonna be on Brady's. So let's go
Yeah.
ahead and find out what you get
Well-
if you follow this to 14th level.
14th level, you gain Creative Crescendo. You use your Performance of Creation feature. You can create more than one item at once. The number of items equals your Charisma modifier, minimum of 2. If you create an item that would exceed that number, you choose which of the previously created items disappear. Only one of these items can be of the maximum size you could create. The rest must be small or tiny. And you are no longer limited by your gold crypto value when creating these items.
So I have a feeling that a lot of the things we're thinking about. Brady had stated before he was supposed to read this one, but he has some very strong opinions on this one. And I would like to hear those first. Because I
I
have
would
a
too.
feeling he's going to bring to light a lot of dynamic things.
I will start off with the animating performance at 6th level. Why? It makes no sense. Animate object is by far better, especially when this one still takes your bonus action. You can only do it once unless you're spending that 3rd spell slot or higher. The stats aren't that good, and it's only one item. Animate object, yeah, it's a 5th level spell, so it's a little bit higher, but you can create a lot more. And if you're creating tiny objects, each of those has a AC of 18, and a +8 to hit on 1d4 +4 damage. It goes all the way through up to huge items. You have way more items. It still takes your bonus action. You can still give them commands in what to do, or you can command them independently. You can have them watch a doorway, or if you're in combat, use your bonus action, have them fight. I don't know why you wouldn't just
Real quick,
animating performance.
if you're willing to take any Bard College to 10th level, you get magical secrets. At the same level, you get 5th level spells.
Yeah.
So this is the point where you could take from any class,
You have a
take
caveat
animate
against
objects.
that, but I'll wait till my.
As far as animating performance goes, completely useless. For what this is trying to do, it could have been a lot better. They had 1.5 million different things they could have made this 6th level ability instead of this. The performance of creation, yeah, you get to create something, but it doesn't last very long. You can swindle a few shot keeps, but how long are you going to be able to keep that up before things go awry? Honestly, I wouldn't even take this past 3rd level. The Note of Potential being the best ability in this, with the ability check, attack roll, and saving throw features that it adds to your Bardic Inspiration. At Creative Crescendo, it's nice. You can create more items, but they still disappear. Yeah, you're not limited by gold anymore, but again, how often are you going to be able to swindle shopkeeps, especially if your campaign or mini campaign or
Or
sessions
the
or
king,
whatever.
yeah, we
it's-
brought this goblet back.
Yeah.
Sure.
Plus, I don't see a lot of real in-combat use for this. It just doesn't have it there. You could create maybe a non-magical item or weapon with it for your party to use, but most likely your party's already gonna have the items that they need, and that creating a non-magical item isn't gonna benefit them in combat. I gotta give this a low C to a D. I just don't see the usage for this class.
I have never disagreed with you more, Brady.
Oh snap!
Let's
Ben,
hear it.
why don't
Ben.
you
Okay.
Ben, you
So-
have to go now.
I see where you're coming from. Note of Potential is a fantastic thing to go with. However, when you're talking performance of creation, medium or smaller object, you're thinking along the lines of purely like swinging through shopkeeps, doing all that kind of stuff. You mentioned the combat usage. As you're going through combat, if you have the capability to throw up, even if it's a medium, a wall or something like that that can block, even if it's a really cheaply built styrofoam fucking wall, that can block an arrow. That can
Stealth.
you can build it
I
up
don't
real
think
fast.
styrofoam.
Wait,
Depending on how
I
thick
use
it-
styrofoam is very good at stopping things. You'd be surprised.
also,
And an arrow is not a bullet.
is there styrofoam in D&D? Because that seems like a more modern technology.
I would assume
don't
not.
believe
I just
there
said
is.
I just have
Plastics make it possible.
there happens to be styrofoam next to me, so that's why I use that. But
Think
Think of
about
it like
wood,
this. You
something
can
like
also
that.
create, like, you can create a little rock and just toss it
Exactly.
to distract the
To help.
card.
Drag it around as
So you can build, and then at later levels, you have the option to build legitimate walls behind. If you are like, oh shit, we bit off more than we can chew. We're not making it out of this. Throw up a wall. Everyone ditch. We got a couple hours before they can get past that. Especially if you're at a good choke point. Or you can make a kill zone because you've locked in a people coming through a choke point that you just take out a round. Continuing on, animating performance. Yes, animate objects at 5th level is very strong. However, this is designed to function exactly like a sacred weapon. In addition to that, yes, the animate objects you can use your bonus action to use. However, you cannot use your bonus action and also bardically inspire people with that spell.
And
You can.
Action
with
economy
this.
is important.
Yes. And because Bardic Inspiration comes back on a short rest, theoretically, you should be spending that like candy. Because the
Oh,
way
yeah.
Wizards of the Coast has designed a lot of D&D, at least the way they claim that they
It
have
is-
designed it, is
it
that
is
you were
the
designed
Bard's
for 3 to 4
ability.
short rests per long rest. That's how marshals and casters kind of bridge that gap.
My only caveat to
Okay.
that
That'd be
is
nice.
the animating performance only comes back on a long rest, so you wouldn't be able to use it multiple
But you can
times.
spend more spell slots
Yeah.
to do it. Which then you also don't then have to waste one of your magical secrets on getting animate object, which is something I would recommend bards probably
You also
would
get it a
consider
little bit-
doing for most of those.
You also get
And
it
you
at
get it-
6th
yeah.
level as opposed to 10, which is at the early point of the butter zone. Yeah, I'll give you that. And it's kind of a free one because your Bardic Inspiration should come back, as you said.
and it
like
scales
candy.
with you as your proficiency scales. That creative crescendo, once again, as you get to those higher levels without gold points mattering as much, yeah, if you choose to
And-
swindle someone with it, can get a lot more creative. But once again, my brain goes back to creating choke points. Now you can create multiple walls and give yourself ways to funnel people into a kill zone that your party is already prepared with. traps. Your marshal is sitting on either side of it, so whenever people move through, they stop, so that way your casters can mow them down. Guess who's just taken out an entire army with an ability, not even a spell. In addition to that,
with the multiple,
having the bonus... Go for it, sorry.
With the multiple choke points, I see what you're saying, except that only one of the items you create with the creative crescendo at 14th level can be the maximum size, while the rest must be small or tiny.
You can, one object can be, but the rest being small or tiny can be things like spikes. Spikes would be considered a small spike or spear or something like that, which you can make several of, can be considered a wall when used correctly. And then the other thing with the animating performance is that frees up your spell slots that you don't have to necessarily worry about damage. Your spell shot slots can be useful more as buffs and other things like that. This builds it more into a support style class, less of an offensive bard, more of a kind of a cleric style, like a healer cleric style bard.
I think it's important to touch on this real quick. If you guys have the stats up, please look at the dancing item stats, because looking over them really diligently, they're really good. It has a fly speed. It's got a 16 AC. HP is 10 plus 5 times your bard level. So
you can also slow them down, which is very useful.
Right. It has
or speed people up if it's an ally.
Poison psychic immunity, dark vision, passive perception of 10, immutable form, can't be changed, and when any creature starts its turn within 10 feet of it, it gets an increase or decrease, your choice, of the walking speed by 10 feet. Yeah, slow or enhance your allies or enhance yourself, any creature. Where are you putting it, Ben?
I can't give this an A, but it is better than a D or a Z. This is a B to a B plus for me. I think that animating performance is far more useful, and a lot of it comes down to how creative the player can be with the creative crescendo and the performance of creation abilities. A lot of this comes down to player agency and how clever they are with what they're able to make.
Okay, I think you're absolutely right. I was thinking that as well. This is, as it says, the College of Creativity. If you're going here, you have to have a very good and abstract mind. Think outside the box all of the time. I think that makes it more difficult to play. I also think that some of the abilities could be a little bit better. I think Creative Crescendo, especially at the top level of this subclass, could absolutely be better. But the dancing item stats are really, really good. And you get it for free once, and then you can just spend to use it again. Obviously,
still less than a normal animated object spell.
Right. And you get it 4 levels earlier, which is also nice. And you can use those. You don't want to just make something dance. There are much more betterer wizard spells you can get when you get to 10th level. Some of the 5th level spells you can get a lot comes online, or if you need to backtrack and pick up some of the other ones, because if you're doing some other subclass, you don't get the additional magical secrets at 6th level. This is still good for multi-classing, though. I do like the note of potential in the way of enhancing a multi-classed bard. I do love the way of enhancing just the core abilities and not having to go any further. I'm gonna have to split the difference. I have to put this at a C. It could be a lot better. And I think we just have to put it right there, since we're all treading. Maybe a high C, since you rated it so high on B and Brady had it at low C to D. So this is kind of a high C, and it's really dependent on how you guys play it.
It's up to the player. That's the thing. It is up to the player.
Yeah, if you think you can unlock some of the asymmetrical ways to play this class, please do, and tell us what. Yeah. Tell us how it works. Tell us why you think it should be rated higher in the comments. Until then, we're going to go on to the next one. Eloquence. Who has the verbiage to speak on the College of Eloquence?
I write better than I speak, but I'm happy to take the Silver-Tongued Eloquence bar. Speaking of Silver Tongue, starting at 3rd level, you get access to the Silver Tongue ability. So you're a master at saying the right thing at the right time. Whenever you make a charisma, persuasion, or deception check, you can treat any roll that is lower than a 10 as a 10. Reliable talent specifically bent around your ability to talk and convince people of things. Also, at 3rd level, you get access to Unsettling Words. You can spin words laced with magic and unsettle a creature and cause it to doubt itself. As a bonus action, you can expend 1 use of your Bardic Inspiration and choose 1 creature you can see within 60 feet of you. Roll the Bardic Inspiration die. The creature must subtract the number rolled from the next saving throw it makes before the start of your next turn.
It's a psych out.
Pretty much. And if you have a party that's really built around saving throws, that's a good way to make sure if you really need someone to fail on something, it's a good way to make sure it happens.
Oh man, you got a couple casters with you? This thing's going to be great. Mm-hmm.
Especially if you know they're going to be good against a specific save, but that's the effect that you really want to hit them with. this is a good way to help make sure that that hits. At 6th level, you get access to Unfailing Inspiration, which, long and short of it, if someone were to roll your Bardic Inspiration die after you've given it to them, and they don't succeed on their check regardless of that roll, they still have the Bardic Inspiration die until they succeed, or until it times out.
That
That
is
is really-
extremely
I like
useful.
that.
There's a reason that there's something kind of similar to this comes online at the top level of the Bard class. You can regain one use and use it again, but this is just for every use of Bardic Inspiration. It
Mhm.
always works now.
And, yep, even if,
It's
yeah,
not-
if they
you don't
fail,
get a lot
you're
more
still
with
good,
it.
man. Yeah.
You don't get a lot more with it, but it's never going to let you down. Spend it
Yeah.
like candy.
Yeah, literally. If you're rolling it on the other side, spend it like candy because you're not going to lose it. How many times have you been like, I might be able to make it, but I don't know if I'll get there with this roll. I should save this for something that I really think I'll need. Nah, just spend it anyways, man. Even if you don't make it, whatever.
Go for it.
Also at 6th level, you get access to Universal Speech. You've gained the ability to make your speech intelligible to any creature. As an action, choose one or more creatures within 60 feet of you up to your Charisma modifier, minimum of 1. Chosen creatures can magically understand you, regardless of the language you speak, for up to 1 hour. Guess what now just got way better? Your Silver Tongue ability, because everything can understand you when you want it to.
That got
once you
better.
use this
All of
feature-
your enchantment.
And then once you use this feature, you cannot do so again until you take a long rest or expend a spell slot to use it again. It does not specify what kind of spell slot, so you can spend
Any
a first level spell on it.
Any spell slot, yeah.
Just
Yep.
anything. Yeah, you got a lot of first levels you can burn. Like Universal Speech is great for that. It's like tongues or something.
And that keeps you
don't
with
have
your
to
other
spend
stuff.
it on it. But this is important for the bard because the bard's bread and butter is the charm, and it's the word, and it's the song. And if you're speaking magical words, as in a verbose component to a spell, yeah, a lot of times that creature has to understand you to be
Especially
charmed
for
by it.
charm spells.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really just making sure that's going to work again. It's
And
great.
then finally, at 14th level, you get access to Infectious Inspiration. When you successfully inspire someone, the power of your eloquence can now spread to someone else. When a creature you can see within 60 feet of you adds one of your Bardic Inspiration die to its ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and the roll succeeds, you can use your reaction to encourage a different creature that can hear you within 60 feet, giving you a Bardic Inspiration die without expending any of your normal Bardic Inspiration slots. So now, as long as it's successful, you can just give it to somebody else. So you're not ever, and I mean ever, wasting your Bardic Inspiration. Your Bardic Inspiration may not succeed every time, but it will never fail you. You can use
when
this
it
reaction
fails,
a
they
number of
get
times.
another one.
Yep, and you can use this reaction a number of times equal to your Charisma modifier, minimum of 1 again. You regain all expended uses on a long rest. Maximum of 5 times you can do this, but your Bardic Inspiration cannot fail. Because once they get it, guess what's there until they succeed on their next saving throw, and then you just give it back.
Like,
Yeah.
if you're going into a fight, you've got buffs, debuffs, both sides. It's never going to fail you. And if it succeeds, it's just going to do more.
Well, Justin, why don't you go ahead and
I was
start?
gonna say exact
Yeah,
same.
you're,
This
you're, you're
one's
already rolling
really-
into it.
Look, there's something. It's funny that this one comes out of Tasha's too. Because it's like they wanted to give the bard a couple more subclasses. And they had one really good one and one that was a little different, but could still be good. This is the really
It's
good one.
Tasha's and Mythic Odysseys of Theros, by the way.
Yeah,
Tasha's
Mythic-
kind of changed it up a little bit from what Mythic did, and I like what Tasha's has done with it.
Was there was probably like an unearthed arcana or something of this too.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised. This leans into your face bard
Straight up.
and your crowd control. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I love the lore bard. The lore bard is one of my favorites. The thing is, the campaign we're playing, we got a lot of charisma people. If we didn't, I would play this. If you're the face, there is nothing better you can choose. You can just alter the course of battle through your Bardic
Yep.
Inspiration, which comes back as your most infinite resource once you get enough of them. And the die just keeps going up, and you can just
Mhm.
give it out more and more, and then it's always going to be reliable. You're never wasting it. This is an S tier Bard class. This is a most beautiful expression of the Bard's charisma
Mhm.
and enchantment abilities, and just a really great use of that Bardic Inspiration die, which is the bread and butter of the class. I'd be interested to hear what Brady has to say on this one.
like this class a lot. The Silver Tongue, with pretty much giving you reliable talent whenever you want to persuade or deceive someone, cannot be understated at all. Especially, as a charisma-based caster, you're gonna make sure your persuasion or deception, whichever one you want to put into more, is already going to be very high. The unsettling words, being able to subtract a number from the next saving throw an enemy makes, as you all stated earlier, when you're playing with a party that their spells have a lot of saving throws, that can be extremely useful to an extent.
You want a wizard?
The Unfailing Inspiration paired with Infectious Inspiration, base minimum doubles the amount of Bardic Inspirations you have. So you're taking it, I'm going to assume that as a Bard, you're going to max out your Charisma with a modifier of +5. That brings you to a minimum of +10. With that Unfailing Inspiration, they fail, it stays. You now have pretty much unlimited uses of Bardic Inspiration, because with it, the way Infectious Inspiration is worded, at least the way that I read it, is even when you're using your reaction to give someone a Bardic Inspiration die, that is still your Bardic Inspiration die, meaning when they use it and it succeeds on their check, you can now use your reaction to give out another one. You should theoretically, once you hit 14th level in this class, never run out of uses of your Bardic Inspiration ever.
Your party should
unless for whatever reason between short rests you've worn out all 5 normal uses of it.
I mean, it would be rough.
Yeah.
It would be really rough.
That would be an intense time.
But at the top level, if you're playing a 20th level bard and you've gone College of Eloquence, you regain a use.
Yep.
Just when you have none.
I don't see this as your frontline person in combat at all. No.
No, this is
playing
controlling
this class. You need to know your role, which is going to be support. With that all being said, and everything I've already gone over, I have to agree with Justin in giving this an S tier. I got to give it a low S tier, but I'm still putting it in the S tier.
I agree. There isn't much that could be better, and it really ties into the Bard core class. And if you haven't read that thoroughly, it helps with the knowledge of what this can do here.
Jake, what's your opinion on this subclass?
So I've read this blurb 4 times.
Okay.
Since you guys were talking. There's 2 letters that come to mind, and they're OP. Not in a you've got your common sense of, or your generic sense of OP, where like you're throwing 100 points of damage per swing and you get 2 swings, or you're just creating black holes that send Baba Yaga to another dimension. No, this is useful OP. It's been said, like, if you're smart, you're never going to run out of Bardic Inspiration. Your party cannot fail. Like, somebody doesn't play. How many instances of Bardic Inspiration do you get at, say, 10th level?
You get
4 or 5.
It's a maximum. You get Bardic Inspiration uses equal to your Charisma modifier, maxing out.
So you get a max of 5.
Yeah.
You got a party of 4 people.
They should all have it, and then
you give 2.
Give it.
Yeah, you give 2 out, and it just bounces and bounces and bounces. You're never gonna lose it, because if you fail that check, you're still gonna have the die.
This is this is not really leaning into like any specific type of spell casting or any type of ability. This is helping. This is support. This is helping your people do what you know they can do. No, this is like ability checks, attack rolls, saving throws, and then you can subtract from saving throws from others. And then your inspiration never fails. This is short of being able to use the Bardic Inspiration for damage rolls or a couple other things like that. This leans into what it can do, man. It's just, it's so OP. It is OP. Yeah. If you're gonna lean into the best speaking bard, where do you think, Jake?
And as a martial character, I love swinging me some great weapons. This is an S class.
You want this guy at your back if you're not speaking to people.
Agdar would love one of these as a buddy.
Not gonna lie, also the multi-class capability of just doing a 3-level dip and getting reliable talent for charisma checks is not to be understated.
For real, like I was thinking up until we got to Infectious Inspiration, like, okay, this is a great multi-class up to 6, and then you can run whatever the hell you want, and then you get to that, it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It amazes me that Tasha's so early in us recording these has such a great subclass versus the College of Creation we just covered, which wasn't good.
Tell us if we're wrong, please.
Yeah, are we wrong?
I-
Yeah, is this terrible
I'm
and
gonna
we're just overlooking a lot?
I'm gonna challenge you on this one. Or if we're right, please agree with us.
Yeah.
That's always nice too.
If
Tell
you-
us we're right.
If you think we got that one right, I challenge all of our viewers. If you think we got that right,
to subscribe,
hit
right
hit the subscribe button this very moment.
You
Right.
won't.
Do it.
button.
Do
You
it.
won't, bitch.
I bet they will. Gentleman's bet for honor. We got to keep moving on. We're gonna do College of Glamour. I think Brady,
Yes.
please give us a rundown.
The College of Glamour Bard comes to us from Xanathar's Guide to Everything. And when you join this college at 3rd level, the first ability you get is called Mantle of Inspiration. You gain the ability to weave a song of Fey magic that imbues your allies with vigor and speed. As a bonus action, you can expend one use of your Bardic Inspiration to grant yourself a wondrous appearance. When you do so, choose a number of creatures you can see and who can see you within 60 feet of you up to a number equal to your Charisma modifier, minimum of 1. Each of them gains 5 temporary hit points. When a creature gains these temporary hit points, it can immediately use its reaction to move up to its speed without provoking opportunity attacks. The number of temporary hit points increases when you reach certain levels in this class, increasing to 8 temporary hit points at 5th level, 11 temporary hit points at 10th level, and 14 temporary hit points at 15th level.
The ability
really
to
need
give
to get
temporary
somebody
hit point
that
is
mage in the
always
background.
Yeah.
Also, you really need to get your barbarian or your fighter on that mage in the background before they fuck up the rest of your party. Go.
There you go.
Run your full length and then fucking go again.
Dude, that extra movement, that's great action
That
economy.
doesn't
With-
provoke
yeah, no-
reactions.
No attacks of
Just-
opportunity as you're
Fuck
as
you,
you're moving.
Sentinel. You can't do nothing to me.
You've suddenly become absolutely gorgeous, and someone's really inspired by it.
But wait, there's more. You get
Ah.
more at 3rd level.
Whoa.
What else?
You get what is called Enthralling Performance. You can charge your performance with seductive Fey magic, and as a bard, every bard loves to seduce. The stereotype is there for a reason.
Yeah.
Justin.
Hey, Brady, this is sexy jutsu.
I'll be the judge of that.
Let's see.
I mean, yeah.
If you perform for at least 1 minute, you can attempt to inspire wonder in your audience by singing, reciting a poem, or dancing. At the end of the performance, choose a number of humanoids within 60 feet of you who watched and listened to the entirety of your performance up to a number equal to your charisma modifier. Each target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC or be charmed by you. While charmed in this way, the target idolizes you, it speaks glowingly of you to anyone who speaks to it, and it hinders anyone who opposes you, avoiding violence unless it was already inclined to fight on your behalf. This effect ends on a target after 1 hour if it takes any damage if you attack it or if it witnesses you attacking or damaging any of its allies. If a target succeeds on its saving throw, the target has no hint that you tried to charm it. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. You not being able to tell you attempted to charm that creature
Is
is
not. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not to be
it's
understated, that's nice.
I read short or long. I'm not.
short or long rest. My
yeah.
bad.
Yeah, a short or long rest, but yeah, still, you really have to try and avoid combat with this one.
I gotta disagree with
This
you.
is-
This is sexy jutsu because
No,
not
this
quite.
is-
That
this is
would
more-
have been more
This is pop star.
glamour when you
What
get
this is pop star, who's made themselves up with a mantle of inspiration and has gone out and is doing something weird on the stage, but everyone just goes.
It's David Lee
Forgive the-
Roth's sword dance.
I was gonna say everyone goes gaga over it.
At 6th level, you gain Mantle of Majesty. You gain the ability to cloak yourself in a Fey magic that makes others want to serve you. As a bonus action, you cast Command without expending a spell slot, and you take on an appearance of an unearthly beauty for 1 minute or until your concentration ends as if you were concentrating on a spell. During this time, you can cast Command as a bonus action on each of your turns without expending spell slots. Any creature charmed by you automatically fails its saving throw against the command you cast with this feature. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest.
The
That's-
effect-
That
Yeah.
is something.
I'll be
like-
honest. I'm liking
that's a-
this more as a villain than as a
Hero.
player character. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I want to.
got
I want to
crazy,
play this
like-
as a DM. Like this is some real false Hydra shit going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what's a cap out at, Brady?
14th level, you gain the ability known as Unbreakable Majesty. Your appearance permanently gains an otherworldly aspect that makes you look more lovely and fierce. In addition, as a bonus action, you can assume a magically majestic presence for 1 minute or until you are incapacitated. For the duration, whenever any creature tries to attack you for the first time on a turn, the attacker must make a charisma saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, it can't attack you on this turn and it must choose a new target for the attack or the attack is wasted. On a successful save, it can attack you on this turn, but it has disadvantage on any saving throw it makes against your spells on your next turn. Once you assume this majestic presence, you can't do so until you finish a short or long rest.
Yeah, I really like this for a DM to play a villain. Reading this makes this really hard for me to picture a heroic person with this.
Yeah.
As a player character, and this might just be the way I roll characters and how I play my characters. Most of them are good. That's just how I roll. I really like what Mantle of Inspiration can do, and I really like what Unbreakable Majesty can do from a player aspect of it. Enthralling Performance and Mantle of Majesty are cool abilities, but getting out of it on damage, attacks, witnessing you attacking an ally or something like that is cool abilities. They feel more like this is a fae or something that has come and taken over a town that's messing with the people, making them do things for
It's
them.
more,
like
it's
they're
more of
God.
something to create intrigue, whether it's on the player side or it's on the DM side. I think you really hit on it with that.
This is a great DM PC.
There's this bard, man, that came into this town and they play every single night, right?
Yep.
Every single night.
And everyone loves them.
Everyone does just whatever they say. Like everyone walks
Yep.
around like weird ass zombies and shit, just does whatever. And they love them. And it's been said they take on this weird ass form that
Yep.
is just so beautiful you can't even comprehend or control yourself.
This feels like this was built for a DM character. Are you taking notes, Brady?
Maybe.
I just see you looking down and your arm moving. I'm like, we're about to come across something like this in a town. This is gonna be I may have given too many ideas here.
You know how in Ghostbusters you say, you will be your own undoing, or what you create is your we just made the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. We have just really created our doom.
100%.
But straight up, this in combat relies on the core of what a bard is. Out of combat is where this adds on the most of it, and in the right hands, I could conceive of a player in the right situations being able to do something with this. However, I think that is incredibly situational, and this is more akin to providing some kind of something for your players to play against, something for them to figure out how to do, avoid the charm. If their people go under charm, get them out of it, that kind of a thing.
Maybe a weird betrayer that's part of your group.
Yep. Yeah. I could also see that as well.
I shouldn't have fucking said that.
Yep. You really shouldn't have. As
guys.
a player,
as a DM, I'm always taking notes.
I would give this as a C. As a DM, and what I would do with this as a DM, I want to give this a B+ to an A, just because of your ability to mess with the party pre the fight. And then the fight can be made up of other things that are going on into it to help kind of shore up what this doesn't add to combat.
Jake, I gotta go to you next.
All right, so I've been doing a frantic Google. I had the character in my head. It was a Disney character. I was like, what is this class from? This class from? It's fucking Gaston, Beauty and the Beast.
I can see it. Yeah, no, this is Gaston. I see it. I see notes happening again. We're gonna fight somebody.
That's why he's able to crush it.
Brady needs to put his down.
No, he's not gonna.
Video later. You're gonna edit it. It's okay.
He's not gonna take notes about this.
So, from now on, catch your D&D games, because you're eventually gonna see Agdar just wreck anybody that comes up to him, like as a gorgeous person, and just like, nope, fuck you, smite.
I hate beauty.
He starts.
Bold of you to assume I'm using this in the.
I will double smite you. Don't fuck with us.
Where does it go, Jake?
I have to agree with Ben. I hate it as a player character. One, because I hate people like this. I always have. I always will. Could not play a campaign, no matter how many sessions long, as a character like this. but this would be a fantastic villain, like an overarching villain. Like he's your buddy, and then you slowly start to unravel shit, and then like he's like some evil motherfucker, and it's just like, holy fuck, he got us, he played us, we're fools. And
Stop talking. He's taking notes.
I'm not taking
too-
notes at the moment. My hands
too
are
late.
He's
empty.
taking mental notes.
I can
He's
see
just
the
getting.
notes.
He's taking flavor notes right now, Jake.
Yeah.
You have to stop. Also, we're nearing the end of our time, and I've got to. Yeah,
all right,
I gotta
all right,
say-
all right.
I gotta say, this is a C class for a player.
Yeah.
Just like most pop stars that make C tier music. This is the exact flavor of that. It's
Shots
someone who
fucking fired.
This is someone that subverts a social consciousness and uses it to gain fame, money, power, and that's why it should be on the DM side to make it, not a player. Don't be this
Yep.
kind of person.
Yeah,
Make real music. Be a real bard. This is auto-tuned, overproduced, and there's like 4 featurings on the track, and I don't like to see that. This is C tier, any day of the week. If you guys disagree with me, tell us down below.
5 years.
I disagree with you, Justin. I think it's a D tier. 'Cause,
That's
yeah,
a little
total,
fair.
Honestly,
total,
yeah.
100% Kanye.
It's not very great for a player, but if you want to fight an evil Kanye, tell us about it in the comments.
I want to fight evil Kanye. Let's fucking
If
go.
you want to see
is
him
perfect.
fight evil Kanye, let us know.
Guys, thank you for joining us.
This is
Unfortunately,
fun.
I'm all out of beer. So we're going to have to see you on the
I had
next
it
part
for
of
a
the
second.
Bard subclass tier
Same.
list. Stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next time on Intoxicated Intellect.
Peace.
Bye, everybody.